Huh. I had no audio. I just, yeah. Let me have a look at something here on here. Looking at this schematic, my guess is it's got something to do with this trigger circuit input here, because it's using some twisted wires. I've not been able to find these for the trigger input. I can't see them anywhere. And it's using a tiny little 1.8 picofarad capacitor for this flip-flop circuit, which is basically what that is. This part here is a flip-flop circuit, and if it's not flip-flopping, then it's not going to trigger properly. So I don't think there's a resistor problem, because the resistors are the biasing. I need to check the voltage actually on there as well, but this is where the switch goes to the external trigger as well. It's got, oh hang on, I'm getting feedback, just a minute, where the hell am right, where are we? This switch, there's a switch up here, that it uses the same trigger circuit for all channels, so that is why it's unreliable on all channels. And I noticed that the trigger circuit is worse on channel 2 than it is on channel 1. Well, that should tell me something. The trigger circuit is less reliable on channel 2 than it is on channel 1. So with the settings, they're set the same on the switches. So I'm looking at this circuit diagram. So channel 1's coming in through that switch. Basically there's a switch, so we've got this coming in here, and that's supposed to be going through here, down here, and this is a switch here. Right, let's just get out of that a minute. So this is obviously the main, this part here is obviously the main part of the driver for the trigger circuit. So I'm going to look at changing C25, which is 1.8 picofarads, and it's most likely a polystyrene capacitor. I have got some very small capacitors. Another thing I can do, I can't find the twisted pair wires, but this thing here is supposed to be twisted pair wires. So what I'm thinking of doing actually is soldering some wires in, my own wires in there, and twisting them manually to adjust this trigger circuit, because I can't find the twisted pairs that this refers to. So they might not be in there. So I need to go and make coffee actually. I need to go. I've only had one coffee since I woke up, so I am just going to, there's a whole bunch of diodes in here. Let me just zoom out a bit. Right, so you can pretty much see most of the circuit for the trigger. There's a bit up here. This now, incidentally, C51. I could not find that before, but I found it at right at the bottom of the circuit board. Right here, it's actually mounted right at the bottom of the circuit board. It's a 10N. I might change that, because that is critical for filtering out noise to prevent false triggering, because I've noticed that the trigger circuit is very unreliable. It's very erratic sometimes. So maybe if I put a better filter capacitor here, which is 10 nanofarads, so we remove any possible noise that shouldn't be there. But so anyway, this is the main part that I need to sort out. This driver circuit here drives the time base for the horizontal amplifier, right? So that is what controls the trigger. So almost certainly the problem with the trigger is in this section here, because this is the main amp and there's two transistors in here, so I just need to open up the other one so I don't have to keep jumping between PDFs. So I'll just get the other one open as well. I need to find the right page. Sweep generator there. Right, there's a trigger level section. That's for the actual external. That trigger level there is the external control for the trigger. And if you look, it goes to transistor 21. Now, so transistor 21's there. And we've got transistor 23 here and transistor 25 there. So these are obviously related to the same circuit. So the trigger level here, I need to look at that as well. So there's a 3.3 picofarad between the actual R27 and ground, I believe. I think that's ground. Yeah. So, and this is where I've had trouble getting it set right, and we might even have a bad diode in there, but I don't think so. But we're talking about millivolts here, so I don't think the diodes are going to be bad for millivolts. And the peak on some of this stuff is tiny. Voltage is like 1.5 volts across some of these. So yours gone live. Oh, it's Jeremy. Sorry, Jeremy, I have to stop you because I'm in the middle of it. Jeremy's just gone live. I'm going to make coffee anyway. Jeremy up to? Well, I'm going to leave Jeremy on while I'm making coffee. Don't know what Jeremy's up to. So, he's got his box of tricks out. Right, well, I'll just let that buffer and I'll watch it when I'm ready because I'm still working out this. So I'm either getting too much signal coming in or not enough signal coming in, but I seem to have the biggest problem seems to be on this section here where on the trigger input side. My intuition, because this is adjustable, my intuition is telling me that the most likely problem is on this side actually, because this part is not adjustable, right? This section on the input is not adjustable. This is the Schmitt trigger circuit, and it's externally not adjustable by a knob or anything. So, whereas this other one is adjustable because of this pot over here. I can attenuate that on the external control and adjust that. Well, obviously by adjusting that, it's very finite, you know, it's very sensitive. So I think really, to be honest, I need to be working on this section. Why does it keep jumping down? This section needs to be tuned more because it's not tunable. It's switched on and off by an external switch. So I would say the problem is in this area somewhere. So there's a thermistor, 50 ohm thermistor in the circuit there. There's nothing tunable apart from twisted wires. So I have to find out where C25 is because that's where the twisted wires need to be. I'm going to find that out. I'm going to look up on the board, find out where that section, where C25 is, and then I'm going to add some twisted wires on my own, see if I can tweak it at that point using twisted wires, and if I can, then it means that I need to either replace T25 with something suitable, or I need to work on the flip-flop, the Strimit trigger flip-flop circuit itself. Anyway, that's just a short video really. I'm just gonna stop it here and start doing some more research on the board itself to find out where exactly that C25 is, because I bet you it's buried under something. It's going to be a bit of a challenge to find it.